Looks like we left. What we do have to start being cognizant of the time here, so please just be brief if that's. I'm going to be. So we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and get called back to order here. We'll continue with public comment. We are on the Surface Water Drainage Utilities Bill 26 LSO 289. So looks like we left off with Mr. Crank. Thank you, sir, and we'll just go on down the line. Go ahead and introduce.
Mr. Chairman, I just, if I could.
Okay. What we do have to start being cognizant of the time here, so please just be brief if that's.
I'm going to be so brief, you're going to be amazed.
Okay.
Pat Crank testifying in support of 26 LSO 0289. I did work with Josh Anderson over the lunch break, and he has some proposed language if someone wanted to consider amendment to that page 2. And I'd be happy to answer any questions the committee might have.
Okay. And Mr. Chairman,
go ahead.
Yeah, that did get emailed to the committee, so that
okay
in your emails.
Sounds good. And so maybe could you just go over what that is for the sake of the public, so we all are working with the same bit of information.
Yeah, see, but make sure everybody else does. So, Mr. Chairman, it would make a change. The proposed amendment would change page 2, lines 18 and 19, removing all of that new language and just inserting after an election under. So the full subparagraph would read, subparagraph 2, the diversion or management of surface water runoff after an election under WS 16-10-105.
Okay. Thank you very much. So the concept is basically remove in compliance with Surface Water Drainage Utility Act and just say you need the election. Go ahead, sir.
One just quick question for Mr. Crank. You were talking about in 15 about the ability for it to charge fees or that really there doesn't exist. Could you explain that to me one more time to this group? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman and Senator Crum, 15 as it exists today before the amendment as provided by this bill says that they can manage surface water and they can charge fees and taxes. There's a rule, strong rule of statutory construction. You have to read all statutes in what's called para materia. I think that's Latin, I don't know. But it means you have to read all statutes together and give effect to each statute. So it's always been my thought that even after amendment of Title 15 in 2020, they still should have followed the requirement of having an election in Title 16. That's the only way. If you read 15 to say they don't have to have an election, it writes 16 out of existence. And I don't think that was the intent of the legislature or the committee, and it's totally contrary to rules of statutory construction. Does that answer your question, Senator Crum?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Yes, it does.
Go ahead, Representative Chester.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could follow up on that point, the rule of in para materia means you read all statutes on the on the same subject together. But if you consider that Title 15 and Title 16 have different subjects, they deal with different subjects. One is the power to do something, and the other one is if you want to do it with some kind of public financing, it's a different subject, right? So the rule in para materia doesn't necessarily apply here, does it?
Mr. Chairman and Representative Chestik, I with all due respect, I think it does. They both deal with surface water management and surface water fees, so they are the same type of statutes. There's nothing in 16 that says you have to issue bonds or, it. So, 16 authorizes fees if you have an election, and 15, as amended in 2020, authorizes fees without an election. So they're different. And then there's another rule, statutory construction. Specific statutes control over general statutes. So as I look at those two statutes, 16 is much more specific than 15. So I think all the rules of statutory construction, saying it another way in answer to Senator Crum's question is 15 says it's okay to do that. 16 should still provide the method to do that, which requires an election. This bill if it's passed out of this committee and passed by the full legislature, makes that abundantly clear. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Thank you. Go ahead, I'm going down the line.
Mr. Chair, Brian Terrell, here in Cheyenne. I'm a property owner, also bring a lawsuit against the city of Cheyenne. I've lived here my whole life, and I was at my same location in 1985 as the flood that we keep talking about. Mother Nature, we can't control. If that would have been shifted 10 miles to the east, we wouldn't be discussing this today. It's my belief. However, since that point in time, we passed a lot of things in the city of Cheyenne. Fifth penny was for storm sewer, road and alley. And the city fixed a lot of our flood issues since then, in 1985. Not to say that there isn't other areas that need to be fixed, but at $6 million a year, that's a lot of money for a small community like Cheyenne. And they're asking this for over the next 10 years is $60 million. If it was so vital to our community today, the city currently has $45 million excess tax revenue that we, the citizens, have paid. Why haven't they started? That's my question. I'm a believer in democracy, and I believe the people of Wyoming has done the state very well and the communities of Wyoming very well by voting on infrastructure and projects that the city and the community that people want. I can't help that the city of Cheyenne cannot convince the people of Cheyenne to vote for it. It's been up twice and it's gone down twice. Not by little, but by a lot. 60-40, I think, was the last one. They can't guarantee that all the infrastructure that they put in is going to save one life. Can't guarantee it. I think all of us would enjoy to have some moisture right now and be able to control that water, but it's just not coming. I'm a big believer that the people of Cheyenne and the people of Wyoming would vote for infrastructure that is truly needed. That's all, and I'm in very support of Mr. Crumb's bill.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Terrell? Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you, Chairman, everyone. My name is Eric Henderson. I'm a resident of Laramie, Wyoming. I was born and raised in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I lived through the 1985 flood spoke of here in our community. No one likes death. No one likes fear. December 4th, 2024, the City of Laramie City Council voted 6-3 in support of the adoption of this utility, surface water drainage utility. As a surface water management program, the next item on the agenda in the City Council meeting was to go directly into hiring staff and authorizing the staff that would oversee this. Local control, I like that. Wyoming Association of Municipalities spoke about the importance of local control and having that. I would agree with that. So long as it's done with the integrity that you're not bypassed, according to 1610-105 subsection E, that specifically states that any adopted utility, the funding of which, the system, will go in front of the electorate. I don't understand really the confusion with this. It seems that the legislature made 7 references to exterior titles and sections of Wyoming statute specifying where and what would also be consulted. Yet there was no caveat to let Chapter 15 supersede 1610-105E. That guidance is in black and white, and I support that going to the electorate. I don't understand the fear. First of all, when you ask for local control, but you are afraid of the vote, then perhaps you're afraid of the information that's going to be considered on the vote. And I would like the voters, I would like to believe in every voter. And I think that that is the most fair way to move forward with any revenue funding of a utility as specified in 16. I would further just point out that if we're really after something, you're affecting this decision that was made in Laramie, Wyoming, December 4th. It was implemented July 1st, 2025, without any further real discussion. The topic of impervious surfaces came out, and we're locally imposing, as of July 1st, 2025, at that time, we were imposing tax on required drainage areas that were required to be built. We're not putting a cease and desist on development of new construction that would further threaten people's lives with flooding concerns. No, we're building ahead. We're pushing forward with infill. We're even going so far locally as to consider waiver of developmental costs in order to encourage building. That becomes a really dangerous slope in my neighborhood where we already have that flooding, and it is of a concern. So I would ask that you guys consider the fact that legislature put seven different statutes in. Your specificity is very clear, and that language supports Senator Crumb's suggestion that we be clear about putting it to the vote. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm Shane Sweat from Laramie. I have a blessed life, really, as far as Laramie goes. I was born and raised. My mom was on city council for 12 years, so I've seen everything come and go. One of the things I do is on New Year's Eve, I give a free ride, free tow home to everybody. And guess what? They let me hear it. They vent on every single thing there is. The main thing they feel, they're not being heard. Nothing is better than Crumb's bill to be put up to be voted on. It's crazy to see the stuff we've gone through. City council will waste money on bringing other businesses and giving them a 4-year free lease at our expense. We don't have an income problem. We have a spending problem. And the best way to do that is to make more things mandatory to vote. It frustrates me when I know we need water from like our Laramie River, but they don't have to put up a vote to go buy a ranch for 5 million, 7 million, 10 million, whatever it is. We have a spending problem. Let's fix what we got. I'm very blessed that Todd is our new city manager. He came to the Republican meeting and he showed us pictures of the drainage. Those were 40% blocked. I'm just saying, my whole life, I've never had 9th Street. Every time I went down, it closed while they were cleaning it. And then when he brought the pictures in that we got to see at the meeting, I was like, this is amazing. If we just did maintenance, we wouldn't need any extra help. So I'm in full support of Gary Crumb's bill.
Thank you, sir. Any questions?